Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love. Today I'm going to describe the meaning of the Gospel of Judas. Now, this is the introduction. This is the secret message of judgment Jesus spoke with Judas Iscariot over a period of 8 days, 3 days before he celebrated Passover. So this is before Judas betrayed Jesus. So this is this account of it. When he appeared on earth, he did signs and great wonders for the salvation of humanity. Some walked in the way of righteousness, but others walked in their transgression. So the 12 disciples were called. He started to tell them about the mysteries beyond the world and what would happen at the end. Often he didn't reveal himself to his disciples, but you would find him in their midst as a child. So, this being said, this is also talking about some of the things that made him different, Jesus, to other so-called prophets and stuff like that. This is also with the meaning of him appearing as a child. In a lot of old ancient Christian texts, he would say he would appear in many forms. To strong, he would appear strong. To weak, he would appear weak. To tall, he would appear tall. To the short, he would appear short. But in the midst of them as a child, meaning his innocence, so being the perfect human. Jesus criticizes the disciples. One day he was with his disciples in Judea. He found them sitting together, practicing their piety. When he came up to his disciples sitting together, praying over the bread, he laughed. The disciples said to him, "Master, why are you laughing at our prayer? What have we done? This is what's right." He answered and said to them, "I'm not laughing at you. You're not doing this because you want to, but through this your God will be praised." So this being said, he's saying you're not doing this because you want to do it. You're doing it because you feel like you have to do it. Doing it for some God, for some made up idea. You're serving nothing. You don't know what you're praying to. This is what Jesus is saying to him. They said, "Master, you," bits missing, "are the Son of our God." Jesus said to them, "How do you know me? Truly, I say to you, no generation of the people among you will know me." This being said, he was very different to the other people. A lot of people back then were all strict religious. Believe this or believe you don't believe that, you're going to die. You're going to go to hell. We're going to stone you. We're going to kill you. He had a higher mind to many primitive mindsets back then. So he was unique. He was ahead of his time. So he said, no generation amongst your generation that he's in will know him. Truly know him. So you have people now with higher minds can actually truly know Christ. Christ is within you. You are a Christ. You can achieve Christ consciousness. When his disciples heard this, they started to get angry and furious and started to curse him in their hearts. But when Jesus noticed their ignorance, he said to them, Why are you letting your anger trouble you? Has your God within you and his stars become angry with your souls? If any of you is strong enough among humans to bring out the perfect humanity, stand up and face me." Notice how he said God within them. Not this outside God that they're praying to. We are all the gods. We are the transformers. We are the creators. We can create the life that we live. We can change the way we see the world. We can transform our level of being to a higher level of being. So when he mentions about them being angry, they're just being angry for something they can't even see, for something they don't even know about. Something that they're just being told about to believe. The belief mindset that fucks everyone up. Jesus was above this. Yeshua is his name. He was above this. Just like we can be above this. We don't need religion. We're higher minds. We can let love guide our actions. perfect. And when he says about bringing out perfect humanity, bringing out their compassion, their humanity, being human, standing before him as a compassionate being, a higher level mind, their inner God, their inner Mother Father mind. All of them said, we're strong enough, but their spirits weren't brave enough to stand before him, except Judas Iscariot. He was able to stand before him, but he couldn't look him in the eye, so he looked away. Judas said to him, I know who you are and where you've come from. You come from the immortal realm of Barbello, and I'm not worthy to utter the name of the one who sent you. Now, the other disciples didn't dare question him. So Jesus, in a sense, had the courage to stand and say, I know what you're talking about. But he still couldn't look him in the eye because he's still afraid of being wrong. Now, when he talks about the immortal realm of Barbello, all of us as a collective consciousness, the Mother, Father, mind. So as a collective consciousness, we've sent for Christ, a higher mind. So when the first become last, it's the souls coming back to this world trying to wake up the rest of humanity to help them ascend, to evolve. Beings that have been sent here to bring the light to the world, to usher in greater levels of humanity. Then Jesus, knowing that he was thinking about what's exalted, said to him, come away from the others, and I'll tell you the mysteries of the kingdom. Not so that you'll go there, but you'll grieve much, because someone else will replace you to complete the 12 elements before their God. So this being said, he says someone else is going to replace you, because Yeshua is saying he knows the events that is going to happen. But he says with the 12 elements, that's the 12 disciples. So he's saying that he can see the glories what can lie beyond him, but he's going to grieve much until the time that they are completed. So these disciples are going to fuck everything up in the name of their God. Judas said to him, when will you tell me these things, and when will the great day of the light dawn for the next generation? It's missing. But when he said these things, Jesus left him. Another generation. The next morning he appeared to his disciples, and they said to him, Master, where did you go, and what did you do when you left us? Jesus said to them, I went to another great and holy generation. His disciples said to him, Lord, what great generation is better and holier than us? That's not in these realms. Now when Jesus heard this, he laughed. He said to them, why are you wondering in your hearts about the strong and holy generation? Truly I say to you, no one born of this realm will see that generation. No army of angels from the stars will rule over it, and no person of mortal birth will be able to join it, because that generation doesn't come from, bits missing, that has become, bits missing. The generation of the people among them is from the generation of the great people, bits missing. The powerful authorities who, bits missing, nor the powers, bits missing, those by which you rule. Now this great generation he's talking about, that no mortal can rule over or anything like this, is the higher level of consciousness is a collective mind, the Mother, Father mind, the source, energy. The fabrication of holds life together, existence, the true heaven of sense, the spirit realm, energy realm. So this being said, it's the higher minds of all together as a collective source of consciousness. And that's why I said no angels can rule, because we're all that sort of angels. We're all ruled together as a collective source of a yin and yang, masculine and feminine energy. So all together, we're the Mother, Father, mind. When the disciples heard these things, they were each troubled in their spirit. They couldn't say a thing. So back then, they were being shocked, like, what? After Yeshua describing these things to them. Now to the public he spoke parables, but to the insiders that truly followed him he explained the deeper meanings of these parables so they could understand it. Otherwise the little mindsets of people would be baffled, like, oh, blasphemy, because he was speaking up against religion. So they were troubled. They were like, what? Jesus says, let those who seek until they find. When they find, they become troubled. Once they become troubled, they're astonished, like, oh. Then they'll rule over all the shitty things that control other people. The disciples' vision. Another day, Jesus come up to them. They said to him, Master, we've seen you in a dream because we had a great dreams last night. So, because we had great dreams last night. But Jesus said, why? Bits missing. Hidden yourselves. And they said, we saw a great house with a great altar in it, and 12 people would say they were priests. And a name and a crowd of people was waiting at the altar until the priest finished receiving the offerings. We kept waiting too. Jesus said, what were they like? And they said, some fast for 2 weeks, others sacrifice their own children, others their wives, praising and humbling themselves among each other. Others sleep with men, others murder, yet others commit many sins and do criminal things. And the people standing before the altar invoke your name, and in all their sacrificing, they fill the altar with their offerings. When they said this, they fell silent because they were troubled. Jesus said to them, why are you troubled? Truly I say to you, all the priests standing before that altar invoke my name. And again I say to you, my name has been written on this house of the generations of the stars by the human generations, and they have shamefully planted fruitless trees in my name. Jesus said to them, you're the ones receiving the offerings on the altar. You've seen that's the God you serve, and you're the 12 people you've seen, and the animals you saw brought in to be sacrificed are the crowd you led astray. So this being said, Jesus saying the 12 disciples are the ones who are going to fuck everything up. They're going to twist his words and bring out the religions that we see forth. Catholic, Christianity, many different forms of it. Muslims, so Islam I should say. Then you have, say, Jehovah's Witness, and you have all this rah-rah-rah. You have Jewish and all these different types of Jewishism. So he's saying you're going to fuck everything up, twist up my words. You're going to lead all these people astray to slaughter and war in my name. So you're planting fruitless trees that aren't going to bear any good fruit. Before that altar, your minister will stand up and use my name like that, and the generations of the pious will be loyal to him. After him, another person will present those who sleep around, and another those who murder children, another those who sleep with men, and those who fast, and the rest of impurity, crime and error. And those who say we are equal to the angels, they're the stars that finish everything. It's been said to the human generations, look, God has accepted your sacrifice from the hands of the priest. That is your minister of error. But the Lord who commands is the Lord over everything. On the last day, they will be found guilty. So they're saying after your death and you've led all these people astray, people are going to take control of this, and they're going to fuck up and lead even more people astray. They're going to say they're pious, but yet they're going to do the same things that they're saying they're not doing. The Catholic Church, look at the horrors they've done with children. But they claim to be holy, evil. They say such hateful things to gay people, but yet the Vatican, just down the road, owns all gay spa. They're very contradictory. They have caused hate and war, twisting the words, hijacking the image of Christ, hijacking the image of Yeshua, changing the writings of Yeshua, not changing the writings of Yeshua, but changing the writings of the words of Yeshua, hiding the older groups of Christianity to have their own truth, not the actual truth, to create their own paradise where they can rule over other people. And they're doing this in the name of God, this made-up deity that causes war. Well, people cause war in the name of something they created. And the last day, when they said he'd be found guilty, last days, they're not going to really find happiness. They're going to be in constant fear of their lives, watching over their back, hiring security guards and shit like that, you know. Suddenly going to be found guilty, lose positions, lose jobs. go to prison, stuff like that. Jesus said to them, "Stop sacrificing animals. You've offered them over the altar, over your stars, with your angels, where they've already been completed. So let them become, bits missing, with you, and let them become clear." Now, this being said, there's another Gnostic scripture, and there's an Essene scripture, which is a Jewish Christian community, saying that Jesus rejected a Passover lamb. So Jesus was vegetarian. He didn't eat meat. He was very different. Now, the Essene community were a vegetarian community, but they had kosher, but vegetarian. They didn't eat meat. When a lot of Jewish people were eating meat, it was after sacrificing the animals. They didn't believe in that shit. They were almost atheistic, but they weren't atheists. They were spiritual. So he was against this, sacrificing this for this deity doesn't exist. So he's seen slaughter. So if this so-called loving God created these animals and enjoyed the smell of their burnt flesh, it's kind of fucked up. Yeshua's seen this. He's seen it as bullshit. His disciples said to him, "Cleanse us from our sins that we've committed through the deceit of the angels." Jesus said, "It's not possible, bits missing, nor can a fountain quench the fire of the entire inhabited world, nor can a city's well satisfy all the generations except the great stable one. A single lamp won't illuminate all the realms except the second generation, nor can a baker feed all creation under heaven." And when the disciples heard these things, they said to him, "Master, help us and save us." Jesus said to them, "Stop struggling against me. Each one of you has his own star, and bits missing of the stars will, bits missing, what belongs to it, bits missing. I wasn't sent to the corruptible generation, but to the strong and incorruptible generation, because no enemy has ruled over that generation, nor any of the stars. Truly I say to you, the pillar of fire will fall quickly, and that generation won't be moved by the stars." So this being said, he's saying that things are already being set into motion. He's already made his appearance. He's already started speaking up things that can't be resaid. Those sort of times were dangerous. When he's saying about the water won't be able to quench all of the civilization, just one stable one. So one great civilization will take out others and think for themselves. People are greedy. So it was not them, someone else. And when he's talking about the generations, he's talking about with the incorruptible generation. So being said, he's gone for above. So he's trying to help others ascend. So he's sort of, in a sense, with this not being ruled over, his generation he's really been sent to is the higher realm, the source. So he knows he's going to die. He's going to ascend. So that's the generation with no ruler. It's pure energy, pure consciousness. The system of supports life, the mother, father, mind. All of us as a collective consciousness that brought forth this big bang. So essentially our mission is to stop evolving, to stop needing to reincarnate, in a sense, reverse the big bang in a sense, become energy again, become a pure soul, pure conscious thought. So when it talks about the fire and it won't be moved by the stars, it's been about some of those generations are going to be on a standstill. It's going to be corrupt. People are going to try to hold others back. So it's up to the light generations to help wake others up. Jesus and Judas. And when Jesus said these things, he left, taking Judas Iscariot with him. He said to him, "The water on the exalted mountain is from," bits missing. "It didn't come to water," bits missing, "the well of the tree, the fruit," bits missing, "of this realm," bits missing, "after a time," bits missing, "but come to water God's paradise and the enduring fruit, because it won't corrupt that generation's walk of life, but it will exist for all eternity." Judas said to him, "Tell me, what kind of fruit does this generation have?" Jesus said, "The souls of every human generation will die. However, when these people have completed the time in the kingdom and the Spirit leaves them, their bodies will die, but their souls will live and they'll be taken up." So it's saying the body dies, but the soul doesn't die. It's an eternal mind. And when it talks about this thing about watering so-called God's paradise, it's talking about how it's not really going to corrupt us forever. Eventually, we're going to evolve beyond this sort of need of this religion. There's going to be people that can see beyond it. So, that being said, these sort of like-minded people are going to exist for eternity. Because it's these made-up constructs aren't going to affect their walk of life. Judas said, "What will the rest of the human generations do?" Jesus said, "It's not possible to sow on rock and harvest its fruit. In the same way, it's not possible to sow on the defiled race along with the perishable wisdom. And the hand which created mortal humans, so that their souls may go up to the realms above. Truly I say to you, no ruler, angel, or power will be able to see the places that this great holy generation will see." When Jesus said this, he left. So it's been said about the fruits. Doing shitty things, you're not going to bear any good fruits. You're not going to get any fruits from rocks. You're not going to get any blood out of a stone. You do good actions, you're going to bear good fruit. You've got good things to give people. You've got something good to show for yourself. Now, with no ruler or angel or power will be able to see this place, is talking about this great holy generation. It's all of us as a collective mind, a collective source of consciousness, energy, the mother, father, mind, the yin yang. Judas said, "Master, just as you've listened to all of them, now listen to me too, because I've seen a great vision." But Jesus laughed. When he heard this, he said to him, "Why are you all worked up, you 13th demon? But speak up and I'll bear with you." Now, this is interesting because a lot of people misread the Gospel of Judas and they think it makes Judas look like a good guy. 13th demon. He just called him a demon. It's going to mention a couple of things in here that I'm going to point out that's going to show that it's been misread. No. But it still has a beautiful message in this. So he's saying, "I'm going to bear with you." So he's saying the 13th disciple, the 13th demon, in a sense. The 13th disciple praying to his God. That Jesus is saying, "Hey, wake up. We are the gods." They're all still struggling to learn because their belief mind system. They met Jesus in his 30s. 30 years of them listening to bullshit is a long time. It takes a hold of the mind. Manipulation, mind control. Judas said to him, "In the vision I saw myself, the 12 disciples are stoning me and chasing me rapidly. And I also came to the place where I had followed you. I saw a house in this place and my eyes couldn't measure its size. Great people surround it, and that house had a roof of greenery in the middle of the house. A crowd, bits missing. Master, take me in with these people." Judas has seen a bit of the future. He's had a vision. He's had a dream. He's seen the disciples stoning him, chasing him. And now he's seen something great. So in a sense, the spirit realm. When your body leaves the realm. He wants to be taken in with this great source. He sort of understands what Yeshua was speaking about, but he's still struggling with the concept of his God. Jesus answered and said, "Your star has led you astray, Judas." Notice here, it's not saying Judas is a good guy, it's saying you've been led astray by this God. "And that no person of mortal birth is worthy to enter the house you've seen, because that place is reserved for those who are holy. Neither the sun nor the moon will rule there, nor the day, but those who are holy will always stand in the realm with the holy angels. Look, I've told you the mysteries of the kingdom, and I've taught you about the error of the stars and bits missing, sent on high over the 12 realms. So this being said, the holy generation again is us as a collective source of consciousness. No sun and moon rules over there. Like here, no sun and moon, everything dies. The pure level of consciousness of the mother mind is not necessary. It's pure energy, the cosmic force that holds the fabrication of life together. Matter, liquid, solids and gases, energy. The source that expands, this unity is expanding, forever energy, forever a source of consciousness, moving life in a circle, or life as an infinity symbol, I should really say. Life, death, rebirth, in a spiral. Judas said, Master, surely my seed doesn't dominate the rulers, does it? Jesus answered and said to him, Come, let me tell you about the holy generation, not so that you'll go there, but you'll grieve much when you see the kingdom and all its generation. When Judas heard this, he said to him, What good has it done me that you have separated me from that generation? As you can see here. But Jesus is saying, so he's going to fill him in, not so he's going to go there, but showing him this, because he's showing that he's going to lead astray, but there's going to be some hope in this for Judas. Jesus answered and said, You'll become the 13th, and will be cursed by the other generations, and will rule over them. In the last days, there will be bits missing to you, and you won't go up to the holy generation. So, this being said, be cursed by the other generations. All these other people are going to mock him. But eventually, reincarnation, these people are still going to mock him. Even though he's already moved on in a sense, he's ascended. So in a sense, he's going to rule over these shitty people that are mocking him and stuff like that. Reincarnation. The soul always seeks experience, seeks love. Even when it fucks up, it seeks to redo. Most people might keep repeating the same mistakes, caught in a loop, until they start ascending, start learning compassion, seeing themselves through others, start ascending their mind, start learning art, start reading, start learning history, start being spiritual, taking care of themselves, loving others. They start ascending. Jesus reveals everything to Judas. Jesus said, Come, and I'll teach you about the mysteries that no human will see, because there exists a great and boundless realm whose horizons no angelic generation has seen, in which is a great invisible spirit, which no angelic eye has ever seen, no heart has ever comprehended, and is never been called by any name. Now it mentions this, you don't see the pure cosmic force of energy. When it mentions no eye has seen, you might see an angel, you might see a spirit, what your mind produces to see that can lead you into higher levels when you reflect on things. When people say they see visions and stuff, this is what this is. It's a sense to your higher mind, your connection to the source, bringing forth this energy. And the luminous cloud appeared there, and he, the Spirit, said, Let an angel come into being to attend me. And a great angel, the self-begotten, the God of the light, emerged from the cloud, and because of him another 4 angels came into being from another cloud, and they attended the angelic self-begotten, and said, The self-begotten, let a realm come into being, and it came into being, just as he said, and he created the first luminary to rule over it. And he said, Let angels come into being to serve it, and myriads without number came into being. And he said, Let a luminous realm come into being, and let it come into being, and he created the second luminary to rule over it, along with myriads of angels without number to offer service. And that's how he created the rest of light, and he made them to be ruled and created for them myriads of angels without number to assist them. And Adamus was in the first cloud of light that no angel could ever see among all those called God. And Adamus begat Seth in that place after the image of bits missing, and after the likeness of this angel he made the incorruptible generation of Seth, appeared to the 12 androgynous luminaries, and then he made 72 luminaries appear in the incorruptible generation. According to the spirits, will then the 72 luminaries themselves made 360 luminaries appear in the incorruptible generation, according to the spirits' will, so that there be 5 for each, and the 12 realms of the 12 luminaries make up their father with the 6 heavens for each realm, so 3 are 72 heavens for each of the 72 luminaries, and for each 50 of them 5 firmaments, for a total of 360 firmaments. They were given authority, and a great army of angels without number for honour and service, along with the virgin spirits too, for the honour and service of all the realms and the heavens with their firmaments. Now, when it mentions about now when it mentions about in the cloud that no one could see amongst all those even called God, and it mentions about Adamus, so saying that that's Adam being superior, so being man superior to these gods, these man-made ideals, us being a higher mind. We are the gods, we are the creators, we are the transformers. So they're together as a collective source of consciousness. We are the God, we are the mother-father, we are the mother-father mind. It's a collective source that brought forth this world that we see to live and experience. The soul seeks love, seeks experience, seeks higher ascension. So, this being said, we can rule over the luminaries, we can rule over this planet, we can rule over Earth, but that seems instead we should be compassionate, loving, the protectors of this planet, not destroying it. So Mother Earth itself is a God. Everything that we see is God. Everything around us is a collection of the source. I wouldn't really even want to use the word God. I want to use the word energy, source, collective mind. Everything is connected to this source. Us, animals, trees, planet, everything. Everything is alive in a sense. It's living. Everything serves its purpose, keeping itself running into a system. Now, the crowd of those immortals is called Cosmos, that is perishable by the Father, and the 72 luminaries with the self-begotten and his 72 realms. That's where the first human appeared with his incorruptible powers, in the realm that appeared with his generation in the cloud of knowledge. And the angel who's called Eliath, bits missing. After these things, Eliath said, let 12 angels come into being to rule over chaos and Hades. And look, from the cloud there appeared an angel whose face flashed with fire, and whose likeness was defiled by blood. His name was Nebro, which means rebel. Others call him Yaldabaoth. And another angel, Suckless, came from the cloud too. So Nebro created 6 angels, and Suckless did too. To be assistants, they brought out 12 angels in the heavens, with each of them receiving a portion in the heavens. And the 12 rulers spoke with the 12 angels, let each of you, bits missing, and let them, bits missing, generation, bits missing, 5 angels. The first is Yaoth, who's called the Good One. The second is Hamoth, the Eye of Fire. The third is Galia. The fourth is Yabel. The fifth is Adonis. These are the 5 who ruled over Hades, are the first over chaos. So Yaldabaoth being Yahweh mixed with Sabbath. So saying this evil god, if it did really rule anything, it just ruled over hell, being here, this planet, being commanding death, chaos. But Gnostics didn't really believe in this. No, they just seen it as a figure. So this being said, it's the generations of this so-called God are the governments, the one that created the sense of religion for a control system. These are the 5 who ruled over Hades, and the first to rule over chaos. All right. Then Suckless said to his angels, let's create a human being after the likeness and the image And they fashioned Adam and his wife Eve, who in the cloud is called Life, because by this name all the generations seek him, and each of them calls her by their name. So by their names. Now suckless commanded, bits missing, give birth, except, bits missing, among the generations, bits missing, which this, bits missing, and the angel said to him, your life will for a limited time with your children. So, this being said, this is that sort of demonic sort of God punishing humans, saying that I'm going to cut your lifespan in half. Women are going to feel child pain. Stuff like that. So saying bullshit on this. Now when it talks about the perfect man being us as a sense of collect consciousness, so seeing if we brought forth this big bang, we brought forth that evil God. If it existed, it didn't. It's just a myth. But that being said, so making a human in the image wasn't in his image, no, it was in the image of what he's seen, in the sense to feel like he could create it for his own source of control, to make himself feel superior. Humans like to rule over others to make themselves feel superior. That's what this is, the secret meaning behind this is. That's why they say Gnostic was secret meanings. If you can't see the meaning behind what this is meaning, it's secret to you. Just like the story of Boy Who Cried Wolf. If you can't see the meaning of that story, it's secret to you. Then Judas said to Jesus, how long can a person live? Jesus said, why are you amazed that the lifespans of Adam and his generation are limited in the place he's received his kingdom with his ruler? Now, the reason why it says lifespans of Adam also means man. So this being said, why are you concerned with the lifetimes of human beings? So it's being said, he's received his lifespan, he's in his kingdom with his rulers. So his demonic rulers ruling over him. That's why I'm saying it's limited in that sort of corruptible world. So we can ascend beyond this. Judas said to Jesus, does the human spirit die? Jesus said, this is how it is. God commanded Michael to loan spirits to people so that they might serve. Then the Great One commanded Gabriel to give spirits to the great generation with no king. The spirit along with the soul, so the rest of the souls, bits missing, light, bits missing, the chaos, bits missing, seek the spirits within you, which you've made to live in this flesh from the angelic generations. Then God caused knowledge to be brought to Adam and those with him, so that the kings of chaos and Hades might not rule over them. So this being said, this means it's not about this God that's created this generation. No, it's what you've brought forth from within you. Focus on what's within you. You bring forth this light. You're the reason why you're living in this flesh. You've been sent here for a reason. You didn't get sent here to suffer. You've been sent here to live the best human experience you possibly can. As being said, with this God and all that sort of stuff just gave people limited knowledge so he could rule over them. And really he just seeked chaos. So it's been a man-made construction. So that means with these man-made beliefs, hell rules over them. They dwell in poverty. You're not able to seek inside of themselves. They're constantly looking outside themselves and constantly listening to others instead of truly doing their own research, looking from within. Listening to their inner oracle, listening to their inner voice. Thinking for themselves. Then Judas said to Jesus, so what will those generations do? Jesus said, truly, I say to you, the stars complete all these things when Suckless completes the time span that's been determined for him. Their first star will appear with the generations and they'll finish what's been said. Then they'll sleep around in my name, murder their children, and they'll bits missing, evil and bits missing, the realms bringing the generations and presenting them to Sackless, and after that, bits missing, will bring the 12 tribes of Israel from bits missing, and the generations will all serve Sackless, sinning in my name, and your star will rule over them, the 13th realm. Then Jesus laughed. Now, Sackless is also the same thing as Yaldabaoth, same idea as God. So this being said, it's saying when this generation ends, this age of religion, when its limited lifespan eventually ends, new gods sort of take forms and stuff like that. But it's saying when we evolve beyond the point of religion, we truly will ascend beyond greater lengths, greater minds of what we ever comprehended. That's when 12 tribes of Israel will unite, no longer fighting over a god. And so people were all killing people using Jesus' name and using in this name of this God that he did not worship. Jesus had nothing to do with this God. He hated religion. So he's saying that his name's going to be used for this very God that he resents. And he laughed about it. So he's saying he's okay because he knows eventually people will ascend. We go through cycles. We go through our dark ages and our golden age. We're due for our golden age of knowledge when technology serves the people. Judas said, "Why are you laughing at me?" And this is when Jesus mentioned about you would be the 13th. When you ascend, these generations are going to hate you. Eventually you're going to rule over them because you've ascended. You've reached that realm because they're caught up in their hate. Jesus answered and said, "I'm not laughing at you, but at the error of the stars, because these 6 stars go astray with these 5 warriors, and they'll all be destroyed along with their creations." Then Judas said to Jesus, "What will those do who've been baptized in your name?" So, this being said, with the 5 warriors, they're going to lead other people and go to battle. They're all going to kill themselves, pretty much. Fighting amongst themselves, killing each other over this religion crap. So, the error in their own ways. Jesus said, "Truly I say to you, this baptism which they've received in my name, bits missing, will destroy the whole generation of the earthly Adam. Tomorrow they'll torture the one who bears me. Truly I say to you, no hand of a mortal human will fall upon me. Truly I say to you, Judas, those who offer sacrifices to Sackless, bits missing, everything that's evil, but you'll do more than all of them, because you'll sacrifice the human who bears me. Your horn has already been raised, your anger has been kindled, your star has ascended, and your heart has strayed. Truly I say to you, your last bits missing, and the bits missing, the thrones of the realm have been defeated." It's just being said, it's looking like Jesus. So it's not saying that Jesus is saying to Judas he's a good guy. It's saying that he's fucked up, but there's hope beyond this generation. And when it mentions about the ones truly baptized in his name, destroying this earthly realm of Adam, is becoming unified, no longer so destroying the old fabrications that hold us together that are shitty, the shitty things that rule over us, like religions, gender sexism, all that sort of crap. The kings have grown weak, the angelic generations have grieved, and the evil they sowed, bits missing, is destroyed, and the ruler is wiped out. And then the fruit of the great generation of Adam will be exalted, because before heaven and the angels that generation from the realms exist. Look, you've been told everything. Lift up your eye and see the cloud with the light in it, and the stars around it, and the star that leads the way is your star. Okay. So it's being said, the fruit of the great generation of Adam, the fruit of the great generation of man. So being said, we all ascend. Life, death, rebirth. Soul seeks ascension. It rarely devolves. So unless the soul sort of seeks a lower thing as it may, its own source of punishment, seeking new levels, maybe for its own previous faults, caught up in things, but the soul seeks to ascend. That's why we see mostly evolution. And when it mentions about the rulers being wiped out, so all of us together ruling as a collective consciousness, but also us being here in this world ruling it together. Peace, love and unity, peace, love and community. Once we evolve into this higher mindset, instead of our primitive instincts. And that's why, we've grown weak in a sense with all this perversion and stuff like that's going on in this world. Because of the perverted ones are in charge. Then Judas looked up and saw the luminous cloud, and he entered it. Those standing on the ground heard a voice from the cloud saying, bits missing, the great generation, bits missing, and bits missing, and Judas didn't see Jesus anymore. Immediately there was a disturbance among the Jews. More than, bits missing, their high priest grumbled, because he'd gone into the guest room to pray. But some scribes were there watching closely so they could arrest him during his prayer, because they were afraid of the people, since they all regarded him as a prophet. And they approached Judas and said to him, "What are you doing here? Aren't you Jesus' disciple?" Then he answered them as they wished. Then Judas received some money and handed him over to them. So this being said, Judas has betrayed Jesus. He's told them what they wanted to hear, and he sort of handed them over. But he was caught up as a confliction between his faith. So what Jesus is telling him, Jesus kind of understood what Jesus was saying, but he was caught up with his faith. He was caught up thinking that if he's the Messiah, he's going to come off his cross or his execution. He's going to kill the Romans. He's not going to let them arrest him. Or he's right. So he's seen him. Jesus was a message of love. He had a complete misconception. He's grieved much, like Jesus said. He was going to grieve much. Jesus knew he was going to betray him, so he's killed himself. Got caught up in this confliction with God. But that being said, reincarnation. The soul starts anew. So there's hope for everyone. Everyone can sort of ascend. It might not be this life. It might be the next life. Life after that. Soul always seeks experience and ascension. Peace and love, everyone. I love you all. Connect to one and soul. Namaste.